Welcome everybody to Old Roommates. It is our season 6 premiere! Woo! And because we're going back to the podcast booth and everyone's going back to school, we're kicking off this season with the Rodney Dangerfield hit from 1986, Back to School. So, grab your big and fat store shopping bag because we're about to have a revisit.
Welcome, everybody, to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And yes, it is season 6. We're going back to school.
Yes.
And we are revisiting Back to School. Brian, I just want to ask, how was your summer?
Hot, sweaty, gross. How was yours?
Hot, sweaty, gross.
It was really unpleasant. And like it was one of those things where I'm like, when it's that hot, I can't even go to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost too much to risk. At least in New England, I should say. It was very humid. We would have these freak.
Humidity,
It is.
right?
It's like the freak thunderstorms in the middle of the day. Like it just is so oppressively hot.
It's just not pleasant. But I do like the fall.
Oh yes.
So fall is now like my favorite season. So it'll be nice, hopefully crisp air.
Hopefully.
So we will begin this episode as we usually do. And
I like that we just talked about our 3 months of our life in about 10 seconds. But yes.
Well, we clearly want to forget all about it now. So we'll just begin the episode as we usually do. And Brian, tell us about the history of you with Back to School.
All right. So I definitely didn't see this. I did not see this in a movie theater, but this movie, I definitely saw on VHS or HBO or something. And it was probably on HBO because I remember watching it probably 11,000 times when I was growing up. And
that is so surprising.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to be able to recite that commercial, that big and fat store commercial.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, do you look at the menu and say sure or whatever, yes or whatever. But I can't even do it now. But when I was young, as a teenager, I could recite that commercial. It was crazy. But I loved Rodney Dangerfield, and I used to listen to. I'm really dating myself, but there was a show called Dr. Demento.
Oh, I remember.
Do you remember
Dr.
this?
Demento,
I think it was like Sunday nights. And it was a radio show. And he would play Weird Al Yankovic and these like kind of dirty, not dirty songs, but double entendre, risque, double entendre songs.
Yes.
But then he also played a lot of comedy clips. That's how I discovered Joan Rivers. Mm-hmm. It's how I discovered Don Rickles. It's how I discovered Rodney Dangerfield. And I just immediately loved Joan Rivers and Rodney Dangerfield because they constantly picked on themselves before they picked on everyone else. And I just thought it was so smart. I loved all the jokes, and Rodney Dangerfield just cracked me up. And so I loved this movie as a kid. I hadn't seen it, and I would probably say 30-something years.
I'm trying to think, is this before or after Caddyshack? It's after Caddyshack,
this is after,
right?
Yeah. How about you?
Thank you for finding
me. Oh my God, what? I was going to have a follow-up question for me. How about you?
So I was not really a huge Rodney Dangerfield fan. Mm-hmm. I thought he was fine. Like, I thought he was funny. Yeah. I didn't hate him or anything.
Yeah.
But I could only take him in kind of small doses, too, because I felt like he was very, like, kind of one note with all of that self-deprecating humor. Yeah. But, he was funny, and if you like that kind of stuff, he's hilarious.
How dare you?
I mean, if you don't have any taste,
a lot of people liked that kind of stuff.
No, I know.
Christina.
I'm not berating you, Brian. I don't know why you're feeling
judging.
I don't know why you're feeling so defensive.
It's a new season, folks.
It is. Same attitude, new season.
Continue.
Anyway, but I do remember seeing this movie, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. Yeah. And I was entertained. I thought it was a cute concept. I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was good. I don't think I saw it more than a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I definitely didn't see it in the movies. I'm sure it was an HBO type of thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't really remember too much about it. I remember the dive. I remembered, obviously like the whole premise of him going back to school. Yeah. I remembered it being a little bit more, like I felt like he had more money, I guess, when I was thinking about it. And I know he had money now, and he like redid the rooms and all that kind of stuff. But for some reason, I always felt like it was a little bit more showy with the money. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what it was about it. But anyway, that was my history. So when did you rewatch it?
About a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Can we just dive right in?
Let's dive right in.
So it really, I mean, it's so 80s. But that first scene is a flashback. And, I think because I was pretty familiar with it and I loved it so much as a kid that it was only things that were maybe middle-aged Len stuff that was really jumping out at me. Like in the very beginning, there's that flashback and the kid from, I think it's Jason Harvey or Hervey.
Oh, I forget his name, but he was in a million
movies. He was Big Adventure, right? And so he's a young Rodney Dangerfield, and he's pulling his collar. I mean, so funny, really funny.
And he was really good. He was
super good. But his father is so damn old. Oh I was like, is that his grandfather? And it's his father. I'm like, how is that his father? But it's just little interesting things. Like I was like, oh, the name used to be Maloney with an I. And then he changed it to Melon. And they never even mentioned that. They never mentioned why he does that. I wonder if there's
like a deleted scene somewhere.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. And then you find out that through time, did he even graduate from high school? I think they said
he must have graduated from high school.
But he never went to college.
And
he just sort of got basically changed these stores into Big and Fat stores, was the name of the stores. And there were 150 stores nationwide. Oh yeah, and he's like, when you read the menu, do you say okay? I love that line. But there's something so really 80s nostalgic, and so my initial take was like, oh, this is gonna be a fun time. Yeah. How about you?
Was part of the commercial, if you want to look thin, hang around fat people?
That's the end of that commercial.
That's yeah. Because I wrote that down. That was pretty funny. So I watched it also about a week ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was kind of looking forward to it because I think I like Rodney Dangerfield now more than I did back then.
Okay.
So I was kind of excited to sort of see that.
But why?
I just appreciate the humor a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I've seen him in a couple of different things and you know what I mean? A little bit just more exposure to him or whatever. So I was kind of looking forward to it. And I forgot completely about the beginning. I forgot the whole Adrienne Barbeau situation.
1,000%.
Right? I'm like, and it went on for a long time. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I felt like it was like 15 minutes of that beginning part, which I didn't think was necessary. Although, I mean, the movie itself is like an hour and a half. So you have to have a little bit more.
I completely agree it was not necessary. Completely agree with that.
I mean,
and that's probably why we didn't. It's probably why we didn't remember it.
Right. I mean, there's no point to it. Like, he's not going to school because he's getting away from his wife. And you know what I mean? Like, there's no purpose to it.
The bigger question is, how was he able to get away from his business? That's the bigger question.
Right. He had one line where he said, I allowed her to get in between my son, me and my son.
Yeah. But you didn't need to see it. I mean, as much as I love Adrienne Barbeau, and I do.
Right, and she was funny. Yeah,
she was funny.
What at least that line, when they're fighting, it's like, oh, you're impossible, you're easy. Like, the fighting was really funny. Yeah. And then they're at a party, and they're looking at a painting, and one of the couples says, oh, your wife was just showing us her Clint. And he goes, oh, you too, huh?
A little edit, it is... Klimt is the artist, Christina.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, sorry.
But it was funny. But before that scene, he walks in on Adrienne Barbeau in this weird, like, she's laying on the counter, and the guy's like, tickling her or something? While he's like, they're like French kissing, and he's like tickling her stomach. The fact that she even did that scene is such a nod to her. Like, I mean, she was game for this. Very funny and really angry. It was just like
it was a good role.
She was playing it real. She was playing it real in it, and I think it was pretty effective.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
But I laughed out loud with the things like, your wife was just showing us. Yeah, very funny.
Oh, she gives good headache.
Okay, I had to rewind it 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, did he just say head? And I didn't have the
closed subtitles.
How did you watch it? I watched it on Pluto.
Oh, I did not watch it. I got it from the library.
Okay. And it was all there, like the F-bombs, the boobs, it was all there. So there's nothing was edited. But I couldn't do a closed caption on it. And I was like, did he just say head? But he does, he says headache.
Headache.
Yeah, pretty funny. And that's one, maybe if there's like a critique, it's like that, he's just ripping stuff from his set and putting it in the script.
So, yes, and I have a comment about that, and I could actually mention it now.
Do it.
I do feel like he isn't a great actor. I think what we're watching is Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah. We're not watching
We're not watching Thornton Melon.
Yeah. And, yes, I do think... I'm curious to know how much of this was improvised, because it feels very improvised.
Really? Would you believe if I said this movie has 7 writers?
Oh my God.
It had 3 people develop the story.
What is with these movies with all these
Christ.
writers? This is a back-to-school 90-minute movie. How much
from
writing?
The 80s.
Did everybody have like 3 lines to write?
So,
like, I don't get it.
3 people developed the story, and there were 4 writers,
Wow.
screenplay writers. I'm like,
wow.
And
I would venture to say that he improvised a lot, right? I mean, didn't it seem that way to you?
I would respectfully disagree. I think what he did
Was he one of the writers?
Yeah, yeah. So I think, story developers was him. But I'm sure he said, I want to put a line from my act in here.
And
it
here,
just feels very set.
And here, and here, and here.
No,
it did seem very much like a set in a lot of these scenes.
Yeah.
So
next note, Danny Elfman did the music, and I did not know. I was 52 years old when I learned that Danny Elfman from Beetlejuice and all the Tim Burton movies. Did you know he was part of Oingo Boingo?
I did not. But you know what's really funny is Matt did. And he recognized the Danny Elfman name. Yeah. He's like, oh, Danny Elfman. And then Oingo Boingo was there. And I'm like,
that's Danny Elfman.
Oingo. And he's like, yeah, that's Danny. I'm like, what? So he knew all about it, but I did not.
I am so dumb that when that band, when Oingo Boingo comes on, I'm like, oh my God, it looks just like Danny Elfman. And I'm like, maybe I should Google this. I never knew that. Some trivia for everyone. I hope people are as dumb as me.
Yeah.
Okay, middle-age lens time. My middle-age lens did not enjoy. Listen, I love a boob, but I did not enjoy Rodney Dangerfield taking a second look at the girl in the shower and saying perfect. Mm-hmm. That is so wrong on so many levels.
Yeah.
Hey, you're perfect. That is so bad.
Well, him just like walking in the house was so dumb.
That was dumb too. That was dumb.
He's not going to just walk through the house. And then who's not hearing that like loud voice?
Yeah, and actually that's another negative where you mentioned his acting. And I said one thing he really struggles with is seeming surprised and a lot of the transitional dialogue. Like even then he's like, oh, Jason must live here. That like you don't even say that.
It's like why? Yeah, we know what you're thinking.
It's so set up. It's like really weird. So you could have just been like, no, this is it, Lou. This is it. I'll bear it out. It didn't have to say, I think this must be where Jason. I mean, it's really overwritten. It's
like, why don't you just look in the camera when you're saying it? Like that's the only thing that was missing there. And what made him think it was his house?
Zero.
It didn't make any sense.
Well, it was like the sorority, the fraternity, blah, blah, blah. But come on.
Yeah.
I mean, have an address. Wouldn't you have an... Although, no, he was surprising him. But still, come on.
But still, he should know where his son lives.
Right. I agree. Yeah,
it would have been better. So Jason was hiding a lot of things from him. It would have been better if he was working as their maid or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the address he had. You know what I mean? Like they could have worked a little bit something. I mean, come on.
I agree with you. And enter Robert Downey Jr. Forgot he was in it.
Did you really?
Completely forgot that was the friend. Look how tight her ass is. I'm like, oh, charming dialogue. Delightful. By the way, is this R or is this PG?
This is
13.
R.
This is R?
I believe it's R.
Okay. I mean, I know there's like F-bombs and boobs.
Is it R? I'll look it up.
Yeah, maybe look it up. If you wouldn't mind, Christina. But Robert Downey Jr. with colorful streaks in his hair. I kind of loved it. And then Rodney Dangerfield has an amazing line to Jason because he finds out that his son Jason is lying to him about his successes at college.
Oh, it was PG-13, by the way.
PG-13. And good old Thornton Melon, the dad, says, hey, Jason, you don't lie to me. Lie to girls. Oh man. My middle-aged lens.
Yeah, some of these jokes did not really land.
Fogging up.
I mean, it was not. It's no Police Academy.
No.
But some of the jokes just didn't land for me.
Just, exactly. That is a perfect. Yeah, because it's like we talked about this in our roomies at the end of last season, where it's like there's comedies that are sort of just lie there, and there's comedies that are actively trying and failing.
Right.
I feel like this lands somewhere in the middle. I enjoyed watching this. I really did. I think there were some draggy parts, and I thought the ending was, well, we can explore it, but I didn't dislike watching this.
Right.
A huge negative, though, and we saw this guy in The Legend of Billie Jean.
Sure did, on July 9th.
Christina, one question.
Ugh, why did they cast him?
What on earth was his accent?
Oh my God. What? I have a lot of problems with Jason.
Dad, that's easy for you to say. I'm like, is he Vinny Barbarino?
Is this supposed to be like a Rodney Dangerfield impersonation?
Looks nothing.
My thought.
Nothing like him. And not only that, I don't even think they have chemistry.
They have no chemistry.
I did not buy for 1 second this was his son. And I mean, yeah, the casting was just poor. And I
felt like just the character was sucky, boring. He didn't have any chemistry with the girl.
No, he did not. And how about the fact, I call bullshit on this movie, as fun as it is, Jason is happy. He's jumping up and he's happy about this.
Yeah. Would he really be happy about his father going to college with him? That's a question. What?
All caps, Christina. Jason is happy about this arrangement. His dad is embarrassing beyond belief, and he's jumping up and down with his dad that his dad is going to join him in college. This kid is being picked on. He's a loser. He's a towel boy for the swim team. Mm-hmm. He has one friend.
Right.
And he's not that great. And he wants his dad to experience his college experience side by side.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I think that was a time saver. I think it's like, let's not dig into that relationship too much because no one would want this.
Right. I think with the 7 writers, they probably could have figured something out. They could have gotten rid of the first 15 minutes, got rid of the wife, right? Yeah. As much as I liked Adrian,
yeah.
Get rid of that whole storyline and delve more into the relationship with the son.
Yeah.
Not that it has to be deep or anything.
But also recast.
What about Robert Downey Jr. as his son? He kind of looks like him.
I mean, I kind of feel like almost more like you need a blonde. I don't know, like kind of a blonde, like a blonde kid, because Rodney Dangerfield is kind of blonde. And remember, Adrienne Barbeau is his, not his mother.
Stepmother, right.
I don't know. I just feel like I wanted him to look more like Rodney and a little more like, even like, I don't know. I don't even want to.
Well, and you liked Keith Gordon.
I did like Keith Gordon in The Legend of Billie Jean. And I was not
a big fan of him in Billie Jean.
Yeah.
But I liked him even less in this one.
I can understand that easily.
I just felt like his performance was so milky. Just something about it. It was a combination of the performance and the character and like the writing.
Yeah.
Because he goes through all of these somewhat emotions, but he never shows these emotions. He gets mad for like 5 seconds and then all of a sudden he's fine with it. There's no any kind of conversations.
Talk about mad. Doesn't he throw something against the wall?
Right.
When he finds out his dad. So we have to dive into this because his dad, he paid his way into college by donating a building of a Department of Education a business building. He's paid his way for everything. He's demoed the dorm rooms.
Right. So not only is he going to school with this kid, but now they're living together in a dorm room.
Yeah. Hot tub, the whole thing. I struggled so much for many, 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 many reasons. I can't remember the big point I was trying to say here. Oh, damn it, I lost he was mad about the cheating.
Yeah.
Your dad has he's paid his way.
Every single thing.
Everything.
Every single thing.
So then, but what he's mad about, and actually I call bullshit on that because there's one point where Edie McClurg is taking notes in class on her little machine.
Yes.
For his dad.
Yes.
What's his reaction? Do you remember? Oh, he's loving it. He's
giggling.
Laughing.
He thought it was hilarious.
So he knows his dad is doing something nefarious. He knows his dad is not in that class.
Right.
He knows his dad is not showing up to classes.
He's hiring
people to study for him. He knows this. Only when he says, and Jason, here, I'm helping you out too. Here's your report. That's when Jason gets mad.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute. So how much cheating is okay, Jason?
Right.
Where's your moral compass on this?
What would have been nice is having that angle of being angry from the second he comes to school, right? From the second his father comes to school, getting angry because he's never let him do things on his own.
That's right.
Right? He's handed him everything his whole life, and he's finally going to school to prove himself, and now his father is coming once again to save him. That is a better angle. But
even deeper than that, Christina, because it's also his dad's more popular than him.
And he's more popular.
He's getting all the friends. He's getting all these girls in the hot tub.
And he's not even helping Jason with anything.
No.
This whole experience is about Thornton. It has nothing to do with Jason.
Yeah.
He's not helping him at all until he hands him paper. But he's not helping him to get friends. He's not even paying attention to him.
It could have been a much more interesting movie if they were fractured from the start. He didn't want him being there, but he's there to bond with his son. But what actually happens is he becomes more popular than his son, and his son actually drifts more away from him, and they have to find some common ground. That's a deeper, more interesting story that can still be funny.
Yes, it can definitely
but this setup makes no sense at all.
Yes, it has nothing to do with the son. And then that whole stupid love story makes no sense at all between him and the son.
Yeah.
The son and the girl.
Yes.
Like, why are they even a part of the story?
Well, because her ass is tight, Christina.
Right. Well, she did have a tight ass.
She's also towers over him.
She's so tall.
She would not go for him. I'm sorry. She would
never go for him. And even, I actually did like, there was one point when I think he said, "I love you" to her.
I wrote it down.
And didn't she say something to the effect of, "Those are the most words you've ever said to me"?
He says, "I'm in love with you." And she says, "Are you aware that's the most you've ever said to me at one time?"
And I was like, thank God.
Thank
she even
God someone with a brain at this college.
But then after that, she said, "I love you too."
Yeah, I mean, it's so stupid. Like,
so dumb.
For a movie that takes place at a university, there's a lot of dumb people.
Really dumb. And I didn't like her acting either. She was terrible.
Yeah, she was a little dry.
I just didn't feel it. William Zabka's in it, which I thought was really funny. I was
great seeing him.
Yeah, I loved seeing him. I wish
it's so 80s. Yeah, I know. It's like, I love these 80s nuts. Even Edie McClurg.
Yes.
Fun fact, I was going to save it to the end. This movie, keep me honest, was released the same week as Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No way.
And they both do Twist and Shout. Both movies.
Oh,
where the lead character sings
absolutely hilarious.
Twist and Shout.
Oh,
isn't that weird?
Is amazing. That is
the
so
same week,
damn funny.
The same song.
And Edie
McClurg. And one kid doesn't want to be in school, and this guy wants to be in school. It's so weird.
Well, that's the big twist right there.
Yeah, so that was, really quick, June 13th, 1986.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway.
That is hilarious.
I have some positives here.
Okay, let's hear some positives.
I liked that he paid his way into college. I think that it was smart of this movie because it's the only thing that would have made sense. And it does speak to the truth about modern times. Right? I also like Ned Beatty in this as Dean Martin. I thought that was
Dean
funny.
Martin is hilarious.
That was cute. And I thought Ned Beatty did a really nice, funny job with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought he really did too. I liked him a lot. I actually liked the character a lot. Oh, Dean Martin.
Yeah, that's the joke.
So Dean Phillip is who I'm talking about.
Oh, Philip.
Philip's
the professor. Professor,
just
yeah.
Phillip.
Yeah.
Professor Phillip. Sorry.
Yeah.
Professor Phillip wasn't that bad. I was like, he actually has a point.
Yeah.
He is a little odd, but he seems like a really good guy.
All he wants is what we want from this movie. He wants things to be fair, and he wants him to earn his keep. The other thing is, I remembered incorrectly. I thought he was much more evil. I thought he was actively evil. He's not.
No, he's just like a victim in all this.
He is. He's expecting the same level of quality from Thornton as he does from all of his students.
Right.
And he's not getting it.
He doesn't want him to cheat. He wants him to study.
Talk about cheating. How about his girlfriend?
Cheating on him.
With Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, no, thank you.
So
she's with her as well. But yeah, no, that was definitely a middle-aged lens for me with Professor Phillip, just being like, what's wrong with him? Like, he's fine. He just wants things to be fair.
Yep.
And Thornton is nothing but rude in this whole thing as well.
Well, okay, so I will say one thing to that. I appreciated that conversation about the real-world experience versus textbook experience. I like that conversation where he's like, "Oh yeah, good luck with the union," and all that. I liked it.
I also did too. I was talking more about when he was in class, and the professor is in there, and she's trying to talk, and he's interrupting, and he's making fun. All of that. That was the rude part.
But I appreciated, and I wish there was more of that. I appreciated this idea of here's a guy who is not necessarily not self-made. His dad had a business first, but he became incredibly successful in business. And you do see that boardroom scene in the beginning. He's making a lot of decisions really fast, and he's making smart decisions.
Yes.
So he has real world experience. And I love that back and forth. I was like, you know what, this movie, it has so much potential, but it doesn't milk it, because from that point on, I feel like this Thornton character becomes a clown. Yes. Like the smart moments end there for this character.
The minute he goes to college.
Well, no. After that conversation with the professor, after the conversation with Philip, when they go back, you don't see him talking about?
Yeah.
He's teaching them about business, and he goes, "Hey, professor."
Yes. Yes.
That might be one of my favorite scenes in this movie.
That's a good scene.
I wished the movie had trusted itself to have more scenes like that, where it's like, you know, this guy did, you know, he has a brain. They'd rather have him be a clown. I think he can do both.
Right.
I think he can be a social party animal, but make him more compelling by him being incredibly smart.
Right.
So it's like, meaning he's hard to fault. It's like, yes, you want to yell at him because he's a party animal and doesn't take anything seriously, but it's also tough to do because he's incredibly smart at business.
Right.
So, but this movie's too dumb to do that.
In fact, it would have made more sense for if he had all of these wonderful points, right? And of course, like the kids are all writing notes and stuff like that. It's really funny.
Yeah.
It would have been better to see sort of like an evil side of Philip to come out because he's besting him.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
It would have made more sense.
But Philip yes, good, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it would have made more sense for him to be like, well, now I'm going to do something to him. And him be more of...
Quite frankly, he should have had some revenge. The dirt, remember the dirt being dumped in his car?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it reminded me of Home for the Holidays with the turkey. I'm like, what did this guy do? All he wants is you to earn your keep.
Right. He's doing his job.
He absolutely is doing his job. This is another weird thing about this movie. So, we know who Lou is, as do the students. Do they suddenly forget who Lou is when he's standing at quote unquote Bruce Springsteen's limo? So people have met Lou. Like Thorne walks around with Lou the entire time, and then Lou's standing by himself holding a sign for Bruce Springsteen. And all the kids...
that was at the very beginning of the movie.
It was, but remember, like that night he's at the bar with Thornton, and all the college students are there. So it's like, why isn't anyone saying, hey, what happened to Bruce Springsteen? Because to me, that would backfire. And then people would be like, oh, Thornton's a jerk. He is only screwing people over to help his son.
Right.
You know, to sign up for classes early.
That makes sense.
Oh, Maran.
All right, what do I have here?
Yeah, Sam Kinison makes an appearance.
So
he says the F word. He says pussy. He says shit. He has, I believe, a couple of aggressive racial comments for PG-13. I don't know if it was absolutely necessary. I think it felt like a shtick. Like it was definitely just Rodney being like, "Hey Sam, want to be in this movie I'm doing?"
Well, he was pretty big back then too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So... And clearly they're friends. I mean, that's why he did that. But it didn't go anywhere. It went nowhere. That scene.
Yeah, it didn't. It was there was no real point to it.
I didn't find it like super funny. Yeah, and I just said Rodney struggles a bit, looking surprised and very awkward, bug-eyed facial expressions.
Yes.
And the reason why that's important is because there are more than a few scenes where he's supposed to be sexually attractive.
Right.
He is going to sleep with Sally Kellerman.
I do not see.
He's going to be making out with 3 women in a hot tub. He's going to be, not, listen, I hate being that guy.
The guy, all right, the girls in the hot tub. The girls in the hot tub, I can see because of the money.
Money.
Right?
Yes.
But the Sally Kellerman, she's intelligent. She seems to have money of her own.
Sexy, sophisticated.
Why would she ever find him even remotely attractive?
And it's not like her choices are only Philip or Thornton.
No, and she's had a great conversation with Philip. Yeah. She seemed to like him.
Yeah.
And she even said something. She's like, I just want some fun.
Yeah, that's all.
Get some fun. I mean, she is able to communicate to him. And so why would, that's her other option is
Thornton? I mean, God, how much? Oh my God. I don't think there's a dollar amount for me.
No.
No thanks.
No. No way. No way. And she keeps going back to him too. He messes up and then
Yes, she does. And
why?
But also she cheats on Philip with him. Give this woman some credit. She's smart. How about when he doesn't leave her house? That's a little awkward.
Oh, yeah.
And he walks right up to her and they have sex. Seemingly.
Yeah.
Thank God they didn't show that love scene.
Oh.
I did laugh out loud when he says, "Why don't you call me sometime and you have no class?" That's funny, made me laugh. Yeah. And that was actually in the trailer as well.
I have a couple things I wrote down that was kind of funny when he was talking about, I think he was talking about his wife, his ex-wife. I'm an earth sign. She's a water sign. Together we made mud. And then they only think about themselves. My ex, when we had sex, she would screen out her own name.
Yeah. I mean, those are all right, of course. One thing, the casting thing is just really interesting here. Did the swim coach look familiar?
Oh, who was that?
He was a swim coach in Ordinary People.
Oh, my God.
And I'm telling you, his character is exactly the same. His character might as well have been, listen, I don't want to take another chance. I used to coach high school and this kid tried to kill himself. Like, I mean, they should have tied it in.
Yeah.
Because it's Emmett Walsh is his name.
Oh, my God.
He was the swim coach in Ordinary People and the swim coach in Back to School. That's really hilarious to me.
That's really funny.
Once again, Jason is really okay with his dad being loud, walking around in a bathrobe, faking a Bruce Springsteen appearance, singing Twist and Shout to his schoolmates. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Well, I just wrote, like, where are the lessons here? Thornton is lying and cheating his way through college. Jason calls him out on it, but nothing happens.
And Thornton, spoiler alert, graduates.
He graduates. He steals the thunder.
Aldi's.
He steals the thunder.
From his son.
Yeah. From his thunder, even with the diving.
I didn't even think about that.
Even at the end when he saves the day. Really? He should have had his son go up and save the day.
Christina, I didn't even think about that.
It's just like constant with him.
That's an excellent note. That may be the smartest thing you've said all season.
Wow. Why,
Season 6. That is so good. One funny thing. Did you notice, I swear to God, that when they show the band at first, there's more people in the band than the audience dancing. Did you notice that?
Oh my gosh, I did not notice that. That's really funny.
15 people in that,
was a big
in
band.
that college band.
Big
and there's like
band.
6 people dancing.
So it's like everybody is cheating in this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody, except for Jason.
Yeah.
The professor, Thornton, obviously. The dean is cheating to get him in. The swim coach actually cheated because he's like, oh yeah, he's on my sub list.
Yeah, that's in my notes.
Robert Downey Jr. is cheating. He has a mirror in the audience.
And the horn, and the blowhorn.
And the blowhorn. Like, what?
To throw off the other divers.
What is going on? Every single person we're supposed to be rooting for is cheating.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it is an 80s screwball comedy, but I think this is the problem. You have too many writers.
Yes.
Too many writers spoiled this movie because it tried to be too many things. But at the end of the day, you're right. These choices these characters are making are not admirable
at all. Not at all. Didn't the Jason's love interest also cheat on William Zabka?
Yes.
Yeah, so she's cheating too.
Yeah, something else happened at the Stone Age party too. Yeah, it was. Yeah, she wasn't great either.
All of these people we're supposed to be rooting for are just awful.
So after the twist and shout, I believe that's when the big melee ensues, the big fight.
Oh yeah.
And I wrote, I'm pretty sure Lou just killed the man.
Pretty sure.
When he smashed him with the jukebox and he just like kind of like died.
Yeah.
I'm like, did that person just die? Well, and Lou was a murderer.
So there's cheating, lying, and murder.
I laughed out loud. I thought this line was pretty funny. And it's such a shticky, from his act. It's like, my football team was tough. After they sacked the other team's quarterback, they went after his family. I don't know why. That was so funny. I did. I laughed out loud.
Funny. That is funny. So he does graduate.
Yeah.
And I thought this was kind of funny because his advice, why does he get a chance to speak? That's kind of funny. First of all, I don't think he's valedictorian with all these, but he ends up getting a chance to speak, and he had a speech. But his speech was eerily similar to Ione Skye's speech in Say Anything.
Oh my God, remind me.
Because Ione Skye's was...
Well, I remember that fondly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've taken a look in the future. My advice is go back.
Yeah.
His was, my advice to you is don't go.
Oh my God.
Same advice.
So this is 4 years before Say Anything.
But
so
they all cheered on that one.
Ione Skye
watched.
Diane Court watched Back to School and stole the line. Just like her father, thief.
Oh my God.
Thief.
Well, the fruit don't fall far from the tree.
That makes me rethink Say Anything. I wrote, Jason, a common note, Jason's a freak. He is throwing stuff and yelling when he realizes dad is cheating, yet he thought his dad was absolutely hilarious till now with all of his cheating and lying and misleading and getting girls. Like, he thought his dad was hilarious until that one report, that bothered him. Sure, Jason.
Yep, that was badly written, that character.
Now, walk me through these mental synapses. Mm-hmm. Jason's so mad because he thinks, which is a lie, he thinks that his dad bought Jason's way onto the swim team.
Right.
So, I'll get him back. I'm going to be bad. So he purposely fumbles the dive. In my mind, and I thought this when I was a kid, and I thought it now, wouldn't the biggest slap in the face be to be an amazing diver?
Yeah.
If you suck at diving, it's only going to support the rumor.
Yes.
What? That's only going to make you look bad, Jason, you dummy. How do you even get into college? His dad probably paid it.
I was just going to say, you know what?
So he didn't pay his way into the swim team, but he paid his way into the college.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. But yes, no, it didn't make any sense. Just making him look worse. It just, none of this made sense.
Oh,
He should have refused. Maybe he should have refused and said, "No, I'm not going to do it unless I've earned my way." And then they were like, "Here we go." And then they needed another diver.
Yeah.
And Rodney, they were trying to get him to go, and he stops and says, "No, my son can do this," and made him do it, and he wins the entire diving.
That would have been nice. That actually would have been nice.
It would have made a point.
Didn't give me goosebumps, Christina, but it's close. It was
only because you can't picture it. You have to picture it.
Hey, I love 3 girls at once. When I fall asleep, they have someone to talk to. I'm like, oh, yes, sure, Rodney.
Yeah.
How gross. I mean, that scene, through my middle-aged lens, it's even more disturbing. By the way, how old is he supposed to be in this movie?
He looks like his grandfather also.
He said, so someone says, you're 34 years older. Listen, okay. No, I know. You're 34 years older than the average freshman. The average freshman is what, 18?
20? Yeah, 18.
No, freshman 18. So 34 and 18, if my math is right, 52 is my age.
Yeah.
Do I look better than Thornton Melon?
You sure do, honey.
Oh, thank you, Christina. You're the best.
That was a scary question you were asking there.
Are we to, this is my next note. Are we to believe that that Thornton is sexually attractive or even attractive?
I know.
I'm really sorry. This is the movie's fault.
Yes.
You can't do this. There are comedians that could probably play off that sexy, flirtatious thing. Rodney just can't. He's not an actor.
No.
And he's not, quite frankly, like, part of his whole shtick is like that he is goofy looking.
Exactly.
The tie, the oversized tie, the pulling the collar, I got no respect. Like, he's not supposed to be attractive. That was the point of Rodney Dangerfield.
Exactly.
So when you try and flip the character like this, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they should have played on the money more.
Yeah.
Just paying, hookers or something.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
My other question too was this professor, Sally Kellerman, she leaves her date and she goes to a college party. Mm-hmm. Is that even legal? Should a professor be going to a college party?
Yeah, I have no idea.
It just seemed weird to me. I was questioning her judgment.
I mean, it's going back to Say Anything, which is how we ended last season, just about. The teachers worshiping up to that was a graduation party.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know what it's like to being a teacher. Christine, you're a teacher. Would you?
I am highly discouraged
from hanging out with your students
to any of my preschoolers' birthday parties.
You don't ever
I have been invited from time to time.
Hang out with your preschool students after class.
I know, it's tempting as it sounds.
Go fish. All right, so I like this, a timely convo about privilege. Did you like that?
Yes.
His dad and I, I'm like, I'm so glad this, and I think it again rings more true now. He's like, his dad just wants, according to his dad, just wants the best for him.
Yes.
But the kid just wants to do it on his own. Mm-hmm. And it's that challenge about being privileged.
Yeah.
It's like, if you get everything handed to you, what do you learn and what have you done for yourself?
Right.
But to be a parent who has resources, what kind of parent are you if you don't help your kid? So I like that the movie, but again, it begins as quickly as it ends. It is 15 seconds of a 96-minute movie. and it goes nowhere.
No, it should have been the beginning of the movie. That conversation should have been at the
this
beginning
movie
of the
could have been so much better.
Yeah.
And I loved it when I was younger. Jason, Dad, remember when you told me that... Swear to God, I wrote it phonetically.
That is exactly how he sounds.
Dad, remember when you told me when I wanted to quit, never give up on anything in life. I'm like, oh, fuck, Jesus Christ. I wrote, Jason, your accent is nuts. I don't know anyone that talks like that.
Nope.
I did laugh out loud when he's studying, he's cramming, when he's like studying while he's getting a massage and he flips over and they turn the book around. And then when he's studying in the shower.
That was cute. This is
80s cute montage. I liked it.
I agree.
I have like no more notes.
I don't have any more notes.
I did write the last probably 15 minutes, though it didn't have a lot of laughs. I actually appreciated, there was a sweet vibe to it. I felt like it was, and this is the problem with too many writers, though. I feel like a different writer wrote the end.
Yeah.
It had a very sweet tone. I was like, you know what? This movie has won me back a little bit because I like that the characters are trying.
Sure.
They might not be succeeding, but they're trying. And so it ended on a high note for me. On a positive note
I agree. Yeah. I agree. It ended on a high note for sure.
The big question, though, before we get into our trivia and other fun, more, less, about the same.
I think we know it's a less.
It's a less for me, and I loved it as a kid, and it still has its moments, but yikes.
Yeah, I mean, and I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I liked it.
Yeah.
But this time around, I'm like,
I think it's the
it
quintessential.
It could have been a 20-minute movie. That would have been fine for me. Everything else was just...
I feel like it's all there. It just needed one person to be like...
One more writer. Just to pull it all together.
And make it could have been more meaningful.
It would have been a little bit deeper.
And it would have made the laughs funnier.
Yes.
It would have been about something.
And you can still be crazy and
But Christina, that is such a good note. I totally forgot that he is absolutely stealing all of his son's thunder. Every
step of the way.
Turn.
And he barely even spends any time with his son.
Okay, some trivia. Budget, $11 million. Box office, and this is 1986 money, $91 million. This movie made made an additional $80 million. This is a huge hit.
Wow.
Huge. At the very end of the movie, it says for Estelle. Did you notice that?
I did.
Who's Estelle? It was Rodney Dangerfield's longtime manager and executive producer on the movie. She died during production, which is very sad.
That is sad. This
was released again the same week as Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I have a match game.
I also have a match game.
You can go first.
Okay. My match game has to do with Jason Melon.
Oh, my favorite.
Jason Melon was so boring.
How boring was he?
His idea of a great first date was going to blank.
Easy peasy. This is the only answer, quite frankly. And if you don't have it, you're wrong. Did you write down your answer?
I have 2 answers.
You got to circle one. Judges don't like that. Make your choice.
It's not going to match, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Ding. You're going to repeat it or what?
Oh my God. You know what? Forget it. We reached a high on season 5. It's over. Jason was so boring. His idea of a great first date was going to...
library.
Oh my God. That was my second answer.
What was your first one?
The RMV.
The RMV? The Registry of Motor Vehicles?
Oh,
that's a pretty boring place.
Yeah, it's a very boring place.
Yeah, there's a lot. You could say so many things.
And I was thinking, I had the library. Actually, wrote down the library first, and then the R&B was the second.
Christina, it takes place at a school. To me, I would say the library.
Right, but I also felt like the library has come a long way.
Oh, that's fair.
There's a lot there. There's movies and there's events and things. Okay. So I was like, well, maybe it's even a little too exciting for Jason.
Let's see if we do better with mine.
Let's do it.
Thornton stayed on the faculty after graduating.
Oh, boy. Yep.
And he even created his own curriculum. Yes, everyone, you can now go to that university and get a bachelor's degree in blank. Thanks to Thornton Melon, you can now get a bachelor's degree in...
cheating.
Oh, that is so good. Damn it. That is so good. I wrote partying.
That's really good too.
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Well, so I watched this on Pluto. I'm sure it's still there. But there's ads. But it's not edited, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
You watched it DVD library?
DVD library, yeah.
And that, friends, was Back to School. Happy fall, everybody.
Happy fall.
And that's it for us and for this episode of Old Roommates.
Thank you for listening. Please remember to follow us on Instagram or YouTube, where we have our episodes as well as a little extra.
And if you have any questions about our show, any suggestions for movies we could revisit, reach out to us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com.
Thanks again for listening.
This is Brian.
And this is Christina. Until next time.